1. Rebecca Gayheart struck and killed a 9-year-old boy. In 2001, actress Rebecca Gayheart was involved in a tragic accident that would haunt her for the rest of her life. While driving through Los Angeles, she fatally struck 9-year-old Jorge Cruz Jr., who was crossing the street. Witnesses said she tried to swerve but hit him anyway. He died the next day from his injuries. Gayheart later admitted she wasn't on her phone or under the influence. It was simply a devastating mistake. She was charged with vehicular manslaughter and settled a civil suit with the family. Years later, she called it her worst nightmare, and even now she rarely speaks about it publicly. 2. Natasha Richardson died after beginner ski lessons. In 2009, Natasha Richardson, a respected actress and wife of Liam Neeson, took a beginner's ski lesson at a resort in Quebec. During the lesson, she fell on a gentle slope. At first, she laughed it off and insisted she was fine, but hours later she developed a severe headache and was rushed to the hospital. Doctors discovered she had suffered an epidural hematoma, a slow, internal brain bleed caused by the fall. Tragically, she died just 2 days later at the age of 45. Liam Neeson later revealed he had to say goodbye while she was on life support, calling it the most heartbreaking moment of his life. 3. George Lopez's ex-wife gave him a kidney. In the early 2000s, comedian George Lopez was secretly battling a genetic condition that was causing his kidneys to fail. By 2005, his doctors told him he needed a transplant to survive. In a dramatic and selfless act, his wife at the time, Anne Serrano, offered him one of her kidneys. The transplant was a success, and Lopez publicly praised her for saving his life. But their marriage didn't survive. The couple divorced just 5 years later. Despite their separation, her kidney still functions inside him, a living reminder of both her love and the strange turn their relationship took. 4. Kelsey Grammer's life is filled with unimaginable loss. Behind Kelsey Grammer's comedic fame lies a personal history full of brutal tragedy. His father was shot and killed in a home invasion when Kelsey was only 13. Just 7 years later, his 18-year-old sister was abducted outside a Red Lobster and murdered. Her killer was sentenced to death. Then, in 1980, both of Grammer's half-brothers died in a freak scuba diving accident in the Virgin Islands. And in 2001, his close friend and producer David Angel was on one of the planes that crashed into the World Trade Center on 9/11. Few actors have faced this much loss and survived it with grace. 5. Robert Downey Jr. was nearly destroyed by addiction. Long before he became Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. was spiraling into one of Hollywood's darkest addiction stories. In the late 90s and early 2000s, he was arrested multiple times for possession of heroin, cocaine, and firearms. At one point, he broke into a neighbor's home while high and fell asleep in their child's bed. Downey once described his addiction as like having a shotgun in your mouth and you like the taste of metal. After serving jail time and multiple stints in rehab, he finally got clean with the help of therapy, meditation, and his wife, Susan. His comeback is legendary, but the depths he came from were terrifying. 6. Judy Garland's remains were moved decades after her death. Judy Garland, the beloved star of The Wizard of Oz, died in 1969 from an accidental overdose at just 47. For nearly 50 years, her remains rested in a New York cemetery. But in 2017, her children made the unusual decision to have her body exhumed and moved across the country. She was reburied at Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles, where her fans could visit her, and so she could eventually be buried alongside her family. The move was both emotional and eerie, as it meant disturbing a grave nearly half a century old. 7. Brandon Lee was killed on set by a prop gun. In 1993, during the filming of The Crow, Brandon Lee, the son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, was fatally shot on set. A prop gun that was supposed to fire blanks had a dummy bullet fragment lodged inside. When it was fired for a scene, it struck Brandon in the abdomen, causing fatal injuries. He was only 28 years old. The crew initially thought it was part of the performance. He was rushed to the hospital, but died hours later. The incident led to major reforms in how prop firearms are handled in Hollywood, but it couldn't undo the tragedy. 8. Elvis Presley's death was far more disturbing than people think. When Elvis Presley died in 1977, the public was told he had suffered a heart attack, but the reality was much darker. The king of rock and roll collapsed while sitting on the toilet and wasn't found until hours later. An autopsy revealed chronic constipation, worsened by years of prescription drug abuse, had caused his colon to swell to twice its normal size. His health had deteriorated so much that his body was filled with toxins. Despite his status as a global icon, his final years were filled with physical pain, drug dependence, and isolation. 9. Heath Ledger's commitment to the Joker may have cost him his life. In 2007, Heath Ledger locked himself in a hotel room for weeks to prepare for his role as the Joker in The Dark Knight. He wrote disturbing journal entries in character and experimented with voices and mannerisms that pushed him to his mental limits. After filming Wrapped, he couldn't sleep, often taking a cocktail of prescription drugs to try to rest. In early 2008, he was found dead in his apartment from an accidental overdose of sleeping pills, painkillers, and anti-anxiety meds. He was only 28. While his death wasn't officially tied to the role, many close to him believed the intensity of playing the Joker deeply affected his state of mind. 10. David Carradine died under bizarre circumstances. In 2009, Kill Bill actor David Carradine was found dead in a hotel room closet in Bangkok, Thailand. At first, authorities believed it was suicide, but evidence quickly pointed toward autoerotic asphyxiation, a practice involving self-strangulation for sexual pleasure. Carradine was found with cords tied around his neck and genitals. The details were graphic and shocking, and his family demanded further investigation. The mystery surrounding his death remains murky to this day, casting a strange shadow over his legacy as a martial arts legend.